Welcome to another packed episode of Pop Kasa. I've got some fantastic guests with me, and together we'll be discussing allegations of police assault against Nigerian singer Buju. There's also a trending video addressing Nigerian youths and what Nigerian Senator Ojo Okalu calls the good and ugliness of the attitude of today's youth. You don't want to miss it. There's also no Pop Kasa without our itch for the week. Please stay with me for What's One Bit. We'll be back after this. Of course, a big thank you for staying with us. Let me introduce my guest. I've got, of course, my incredible, beautiful looking Bolanle. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Good to be here again.
Fantastic. You look good, by the way.
Thank you. All African patterns, darling.
Loving it, repping Africa. And of course, we have a special guest, our health entertainer. How does that sounds super cool, by the way. How are you doing? Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. And it's health entertainer.
Health entertainer.
Instead of saying entertainer, you just say health entertainer.
Fantastic. Good to have you on the show again. Of course, your name is Kelechi Okoro. All right, we're going to have a packed show, of course, but let's start in Nigeria. The Lagos State Police Command has reacted to popular singer Buju, who's now called Benson. Of course, his statement that he spat on a police officer during a confrontation. In a tweet on Wednesday, which he has now deleted, Buju had this to say. He says, "I just spat in the police face and it felt so good." Now, Lagos Police Command spokesperson Benjamin Hundeyin said the police officers involved will be sanctioned for their misbehavior. However, stated that if Buju is guilty on the other hand, he will answer for assaulting an officer. Now, on Thursday, he is now denied spitting on a police officer's face. His new tweet had this to say. He says, "I do not support abuse against the police in any form. My since deleted tweet stating I spat in a police officer's face was an idiomatic expression to say I disrespected a police officer to his face and not the literal way people may have taken it on social media. I don't support violence or abuse against the police in any form." The singer maintains that although it was a life-threatening situation, according to him, being physically assaulted by the police, he didn't want people to take his deleted post any seriously. Now, here's my question. Should we be concerned about police behavior, or could this be an after effect of, the fight after police brutality and the disbandment of EndSARS? Or perhaps is this just a one-time thing? Let me start with you, Kelechi. What do you think about this?
We should be worried. I mean, there are issues where people are talking about the reaction to an action instead of addressing the action first. First of all, what did the policemen or men do to Buju to, have to warrant that altercation, right? So I don't know what they did to him, but there's a situation called fight or flight. When something happens to you, it becomes life-threatening. It seems like it's life-threatening, and there are two actions that you can give. You either fight or you jackpot, right? Jackpot in the essence, like, okay, at that moment, you're not jackpotting out of the country.
Right.
Jackpot right now.
Right.
Yeah.
From the situation.
Exactly. Yeah. And then he must have felt threatened. I don't believe anybody is mad enough to just, policeman stops you, stop, and you just open your mouth, and spit at someone. I mean, there are health implications of spitting on someone's face, and we'll talk about that later. But in this situation, what was the action that warranted that reaction? So if you're saying that he assaulted a police officer, I think if he's not being, threatened, then we should be talking about the action of the policeman that warranted that action. So,
do you agree with her, Bolanle, real quick?
Well, to an extent, I do. And then the fact that he came back to correct, he didn't literally spit on them as the IGP thought he did. So it's a situation of, I saw the video, and I don't know him outside his song and his type of music, but you wouldn't normally just go mad, pull off your shirt and start creating a scene on the streets, being a public figure. A lot of people are looking at you. A lot of people know you. It's not someone that will pass the street and nobody can recognize him or identify him. So something happened. He was being harassed, physically harassed for that matter. So he had to lash back at them for that reason. And then there's the next end. EndSARS was one of those particular situations. A lot of people have had their own experience as well. Mehdi had his own. Different people have their own of police people just harassing them. Especially now that you can't even drive a Benz freely and get away with it. And he was using a Benz. So you can as well ask, what exactly was the problem? Why did they stop him? Did they see something in his car? Was there already an information about him before that happened? And what led to the altercation? Because I'm sure it wasn't self-defense. I'm not saying what he did was right, but if push comes to shove, everybody will bounce back.
All right, now you must have certainly seen the video. If you haven't, of course, they're going to be playing right behind us. But of course, Buju is a Nigerian singer, his Grammy nominated, of course, for contributing to Wizkid's album and fantastic songs. But here's my second question. My fears are, what if it was an average Nigerian? Will disciplining against these policemen come that swiftly, or would it even be heard? What do you think?
I'm sure you already know the answer to that. It's because it went viral. It's because it's Benson, and then everybody's hearing about it. People are harassed, young people especially, people like you. There's a profiling. People like me also. I have henna all the time. I have my hair blonde. Nobody would just spot diagnosis and say I'm a doctor. No, the first thing you would not think I'm a doctor first of all, because I don't even look like one. I don't have to look like one to actually do my job. So there are a lot of Nigerians who are constantly, persistently, consistently abused by the Nigerian police. And sometimes I do not blame them, because everybody is angry. We're angry at something. So that's where individuality comes into play. Yeah, some people would calm down and listen to the police, and all of that. But I mean, the police, they are already confrontational, and then like the flight and the fight thing, some people would just want to fight, and there are a lot of medical undertones to it. Someone who has anxiety, someone who has post-traumatic stress disorder, someone who has depression, someone who already comes from a place where everything is like you feel like somebody's fighting you. So yeah, there are other ways that you can actually try to control that. I mean, count to 10 before you react. Blow the raspberries, and all of that. We watch in movies. Calm down, think of the situation before you react. But how many people are emotionally intelligent? How many people have
can find that balance?
Find that balance. Yeah. So people are being harassed.
Based on the question that you asked, though, that you said if it wasn't Buju, if it was a normal person, like me, I could say I'm not as popular as him. But then again, if it was a normal person, now lately you notice that the social media is being used to deal with situations around the society. The police, the government pay attention to social media more, because I've used it as a tool to vent out their frustrations and everything. Like the case of the policeman that went about beating someone with cutlass the other day. He was dismissed, and it was depicted in front of camera so that social media will see that we did something about it. We heard your cry, so we're dealing with issues of the society. So basically, I think there's a way they pay attention to what's going on in the society.
I must admit, from this conversation, we can tell that we're paying attention to social media, and we got some credit to give, of course, for that. But let's go with this one. Buju has asked the public to disregard his previous tweet, where he admitted to speaking on the police. Now, this is considered, police assault, punishable by law if he actually did that. Now, he says it was only an idiomatic expression. Let's pull out the definition of that real quick. Now, based on my knowledge, I know that idiomatic expressions are a type of informal language, right, that have a meaning different from the meaning of the word itself. And of course, there are examples there just for you to see. They were both walking in, you just look at it on the screen, right, over the moon. You know what I mean? Those kind of things. It rained cats and dogs.
Yes.
We've never heard idiomatic expressions of this nature, like I spit on someone's face, But he did explain, and it kind of makes sense. Do you believe this? Do you believe that he literally spat in the policeman's face or not? What do you think?
Was there a video showing that he spat on the...
I mean, he said that himself.
There's no proof.
So if it was a law, right?
Yeah.
They would hold your own word against you. It's like saying, I spat on your face.
But then he said it was an idiomatic expression.
And it serves, because, I mean, if you spit on someone's face idiomatically, you actually just... disrespect them. Or... I'm giving your shit back to you, because I mean, police gave me shit and I'm giving it back.
Language, you gotta be careful.
You're people will say, oh, boo me, you insulted me,
and
basically. You don't need to spit on the person's face. There's a way to go about it.
But if he did spit on the policeman's face, I mean, he's going to be spreading germs, and that shouldn't. Nobody should spit on anybody's face, idiomatically, literally, or anything. If you want, speaking. No, I have to weigh in medically. If you spit on someone's face, imagine if it was COVID area, hepatitis. There's hepatitis. There's a meningitis. Wow. There is herpes. The spit has to go into the orifices, the eyes.
She's already scaring me with this one, but of course this information is super important, right? But let's go back. I know that Mehdi claimed policemen used tear gas on him at some time in City Mall Ikeja, for what they claimed was wrongful use of a hoverboard in the mall. Now, also knowing in 2018, Tanzanian singer Diamond Platnumz was arrested by Tanzanian police authorities for posting a video on social media where he was making out with a lady. Something as, you think, I mean, we see that all the time, right? But of course, different societies have different laws in place. Now, while truthfully, it's a sensitive time in our nation, like you had mentioned, based on our experience with NSAS and all this, what do you think should be our attitude towards the police to grow as a nation? Should we be hostile? Should we trust them? How can we build that trust?
Well, I think we've gone beyond the face of NSAS now. Now the question is, were there results from NSAS? We lost a couple of lives. Some people were injured and all that. So what are the results we got? Tollgate is still not being open till date, the particular one where the event happened. So what did we want? We wanted police brutality to stop. We wanted us to be treated like humans. We wanted respect. We wanted room for negotiation and equality at the end of the day. Let there be proof to something if you're accusing me of. So I feel like since then, the crime rates, the brutality between police and normal citizens has gone down a bit, even though there are certain things that still need to be addressed. We don't want to start talking about it yet.
But there's accountability. I mean, but there should be mutual respect between the
police and this. They're meant to protect lives.
Yes, true. I'm going to say a short story. I was stopped around Allen. Of course, the profiling, I love it when you profile.
Fantastic.
Love it. And then, where are you going to? I'm like, guy, can you just calm down? Talk to me. He said, that this is. I'm like, should I be scared? You see the way you're even talking back at me. I'm like, you asked me a question and I'm responding. Am I supposed to be scared of you? Are you not here to serve me? What is your motto? And the guy was just looking at me. So I said, they go. Your own problem is too much. I'm like, am I supposed to be scared of the police?
They don't like when you sound intelligent, when you know you're right.
I'm supposed to just
challenges them.
I mean, it's an experience. You stop me, you want to search. You know, I attend to you. You attend to me respectfully. But however, when there seems to be something fishy going down, you have to be very alert. I bring out my phone. First of all, evidence. Usually they don't have any evidence against us, but we have our phones, we have social media. Instantly get an evidence, but as much as possible, be calm, right? Be calm and let it be that they are the ones, having all the problems. I mean, like, I'm not a mad person. You're not a mad person. You can't just, police will not just stop you and you start, nah. There's something, like that's what I said earlier, there's always an action before the reaction. So let's just stop talking about the reaction all the time and the action. What happened, how we interact with the police and how the police, it's a mutual thing. I'm not supposed to be scared of you. I'm not even,
But Sam, haven't you had a situation where you were harassed?
I
need to know. Both of us have been given our own experience. I need to know.
To be honest, it's obvious, right? I look young.
I know you're a gentle person.
So at first I used to be really defensive with them because I'm like, what are you looking for? Do I look suspicious to you? And then at some point my friends will always tell me to calm down, that they might just, plant something somewhere a little fishy. And I just honestly started to respect them, whether it's a few cowboy you're asking for, it's fine. If I have, I will give you. If not, honestly, but I feel like I get they're trying to do their jobs, but you made a good point. As citizens, honestly, as Nigerians, we should, of course, be respectful, both as a policeman, both as citizens. So let's see where they're going to, and hopefully, these things can work properly. I do advise for better police reform so that, they know that we're important, all right, to treat us properly. But let's move from that one. Still in Nigeria, it appears that Man United is not only losing matches, but has also successfully created a rift between Nigerian youths and elder statesmen. Now, here's the gist. Manchester United, of course, had suffered a defeat by Brentford at their stadium, making its English club's second loss in the new Premier League season. Now, Dr. Orjus Orkalu, the senator representing Abia North, made a reaction on Facebook, and this is what he had to say. He says, first time in 84 years that Manchester United would suffer a heavy defeat to Brentford. But some of the lawmakers following him, of course, took to the comment section to wish that he and his party, the All Progressive Congress, APC, would suffer similar defeats in their political outings in 2023 general elections. Now, the former governor of Abia State and the senator in response cautioned youths across Nigeria, especially those on social media, against insulting their elders. He posted a video titled "The Good and Ugliness of the Attitudes of Today's Youth" on his personal Facebook page. Let's watch this.
I don't want to curse anybody in Nigeria because I didn't behave like this as a youth. I'm 62 years old. When I was 25, I was already very successful. Very successful. So if I see youths who should chat with a statesman like me that they will have a lot of ideas to do something with, and they are joking with it, it is not fair. I don't encourage the way you youths abusing people in the Facebook, abusing people you solely can be chatting with. But I also congratulate a lot of you. Like I've replied few people who say, are you a Man U fan? I said, no. I only support good football, and that is the truth. On election day, vote for anybody you like. Stop insulting people. Anybody you like, vote for. It's your right. It's not my right. If you vote for me, good. I'll be very grateful. To you people, if you do. But if you don't, I will also be very grateful because life is about.
It was a long video, and I personally watched it from top to bottom. But here's my question. Is this a case of disrespect or Nigerian youths just upset about something, the state of the nation perhaps, the strike? What do you think this is? Where is this coming from?
We are angry. The youth, I'm still a youth. The youth are angry, and then they tend to, find a way to dissipate that anger. But I don't quite agree with that thing when they say elders, respect don't talk back at your elders. I mean, if you come to social media, it's a social media platform.
Right.
To an extent, it's a leveler, right? So, and here on social media, we address issues, not personality. You will not come and fight and play in the mud, and then when it's time to, and then you get dirty and you're complaining. This is a place that is populated by the youth. So you should be very careful, especially in an era like this where youth are angry. You're supposed to be talking about governance. You're supposed to be making comments about some other important things. I mean, I don't have any problem with him talking about football. Everybody loves football, including me. But you don't beat people and ask them not to cry or tell them how to cry. They will find a way to express their grievances.
Doctor, you have some really nice proverbs there. I'm just learning a few things. I'm like, wow.
I'm actually learning. I'm taking notes mentally.
I'm going to ask you a question real soon, right? But here's the thing. As a former governor, now senator, he certainly is responsible for people's lives, right? One of the youths did question Kalu on why he had been silent on the issues, of unrest in the East. But now he's commenting on football. Is he allowed to make these casual remarks, or is this,
That's where I was going to. Wait, I was going to say, Oji Kalu was governor of Abia State from 1999 to 2007. That's like 2 times 8 years.
Wow.
Now, presently, Obiano, the present governor of Abia State, is there too. This is his second term. If you go to Abia State, hey, my name is Oluchi. My mom is from Abia State.
Okay.
So if you go to Abia State, you'll be appalled by what is going on in Abia State presently. So there are a lot of angry people that are seeing what is going on, including the indigenous and the non-indigenous. So there's a lot of issue in Abia, Umaya, in the East in general, not just the North, of insurgency, kidnap, death, hunger, pension issues. Their people are not being paid their wages. People are hungry. People are dying. Obiano comes and says he pays 500 to women that just put to bed in the hospital. What will 500?
Full chest.
500, 3 bags of pure water. No, but seriously, after that, what will you do with 500? And then you're commenting on football. Really? Football. And you're a senator. And people are hungry. So you looked for it. If you find trouble, they will give you back to back.
Okay, so for me, there's no problem commenting with football. But as what did you call it? As an elder, high chief, whatever it is.
I'm telling you, someone that could bring about
First of all,
change.
you should talk about the issues of all the issues that she mentioned: insurgency, poverty rates. Abia hasn't been very lucky with governors, so you're going to talk about that, and then also add football as Jara. It's just like me, I'm the health entertainer, and all I talk about is Big Brother, all I talk about is trending issues. First of all, my core is health. Then I can just play around and then talk about other things. So football is playing around. When things that you should talk about are right, you should talk about them, you should lend your voice, and then add those.
Right. So, and you know the irony of he's visiting ward now in Abia State. And you're seeing the situation of what is going on. So
talk about the important things and then talk about the other important things.
I got a question for you. I know you had touched on it a little bit, right? Okay. So, of course, we're Africans. We're young. We were grown up. We were taught to respect our elders, irrespective of, what they said, how they acted. Has that changed? Are we all saying are we too woke?
We are the coconut head generation with our full chest. First of all, fools grow old.
Oh yeah.
I just
oh yeah.
No, fools grow old. That's why I'm not calling anybody a fool, but when you say respect your elders, irrespective, no. There's this saying that we have grown up with, what an elder can see when they are lying on the floor. You as a child, we can Google it and we'll find the answer.
Oh my God.
That's how things have changed. So I'm not saying that, they have the experience, they have the age as an advantage, but still, they are not always right. But when they say the right things, we applaud them. But when they say the wrong things, we will not.
We can't use the case of respect to cover up everything.
I want to ask you a question.
That's our major problem.
So here's the thing. We're agreeing that, of course, the Nigerian youths are angry. We want better, okay? But now I'm saying it seems like a reaction. Is this going to solve anything? What should be the solution? When there's a problem, what's the solution? How do we get government to know this is our problem without sounding like angry birds? What do we do? Because is this going to work? Is this going to make him tackle the actual issues or not? Bolanle, what do you think?
I feel we went about it the wrong way. Number one, they shouldn't have attacked him like that. It was totally unnecessary. So now that he's visiting, you would have gone on different legit platforms or gone on Twitter, or the youths in Abia State would have gone out to meet him that, okay, we're going through issues. You tweeted the other day about Manchester United. Can you also tweet solutions, things, policies you're putting in place, structures that are being put in place to ensure better livelihood for your indigenes, for your people that elected you? You've been there since like 1999, from governorship to senator and all that. You're there. You know how to handle these things. Deal with it, because we're tired of it. We're hungry. We're starving. We don't have jobs. ASU has been on strike 5 months and 17 days as of today. What are you doing? How are you contributing to this change? We need a change. So people are just tired. I think they're just tired. So there are other ways. You can probably join a party and talk about it or something else.
All right. Well, of course, you can tell that we're all getting emotional because we're Nigerians, we're proud, and we want to remain in our nation. We're hoping, of course, that things change and there should be a positive platform where we as young people can, of course, tackle this government officials and where they would positively respond back and changes will be happening. But my also point is also the fact that it's a cancel culture now. We're all woke and we all want to put out some opinion, whether it's rude, whether it's mean. Maybe we should be a little easy on that one, okay? That is for sure. All right, still Popcast right here on News Central Television. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, of course, we're going to have the itch.
News Central TV, Africa's #1 storyteller, has come with the best of both worlds. With a combination of news app and live TV, we ensure that you keep track of the latest headlines, breaking news, and in-depth analysis from professional journalists from around the continent. Download the News Central TV app on Android and iOS and get started today. Don't forget to follow us on News Central's social media platforms. News Central, Africa First.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. Well, like I promised, it's time for the itch. Now, here's what happens. There is this couple barely surviving in this economy that have, a 4-year-old son. Now, this person says, I help them with cash or groceries every month to take care of the child. They called me telling me how they are excited that she's pregnant again. Now, first question. Back in the day, I used to feel like, a successful man or family is when they have, plenty children. Back in the day, because you can brag about having many children, especially when they're male, no offense. But is that the same in this case? What do you think?
It's not the same. How? I'm the 10th child of my father.
Wow.
My father has 13 children. He raised and trained a lot of children before me and after me. And he had the money to do it. We all went to school. He had the money to do it.
Right.
However, would I want to give birth to more than 2? No. Or 3? No.
Like
because things I have, 3 will be by mistake. 2 is fine. Future hobby, if you can hear this, 2, 3 is extra.
But let me ask you a quick question, right? Bolanle, what would you do in this place if you were the one? What would you do?
That's it. I'm done with the family.
You're not with them again.
There's no need messing around the bush.
Can I say something? Pregnancy is not an emergency. Shouldn't be an emergency. Childbirth is not an emergency. You have 9 months to plan. Okay, you have 9 months to plan to have a kid. Some people call you up and say, my wife just delivered. I don't have money to pay. You had 9 months to plan. And if we keep helping these people, there are people who need it genuinely. But it gets to a point where if you keep helping these people, you're just enabling bad behavior.
You know what? My first thought is I feel like it's a lack of education at this point. Because there are some people maybe who are not well educated. I believe there are some societies where the man probably feels like, a condom is not right in the household. As a health expert, right, what are some of the simplest methods of, birth control?
Control, yeah.
The natural one, which is avoiding intercourse during your unsafe period, and then
period.
That's the ovulation period, and then using a condom. I'm going to say a short story. A cleaner was cleaning, and she told me that there's a couple upstairs. They are lying that they are married. Meanwhile, I'm always seeing use condom in their houses, and I'm like, they are allowed to, because so there are a lot of side effects of other.
So this situation, I think whether they are literate or not, that is educated or not, it's 2 things. Do we have enough resources to take care of the kids?
Exactly.
If we have more than 3, more than 4, can we afford to take care of them? There's studies, there's feeding, there's welfare, there's every other thing you need to look at. So it's not, I'm cold, I need my wife, I need to warm. There was a situation in Ghana I saw on the news. He literally killed his wife because she denied him of sex. Yes,
Oh, that's
I'm serious.
crazy.
So we need to do better.
Yeah,
That's
and just to
it.
wrap it up, if you're not educated, your pocket is educated. Do you have the money to buy food or not?
Nicely done, nicely done. If you ask me, I would like 2 kids, and that's all. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Don't forget to keep the conversation going right there with your friends and family. And of course, if you have any interesting contributions on the topic, hit us up at News Central Television on socials or use the hashtag NCPopCasa. Till next Friday, have yourself a fantastic weekend. I'm Sam Dandy. Thank you so much for coming. Bolanle, as always, good to have you.
My pleasure. Dr. Kells.